Enterprise Stories is the weekly radio program that shares the experiences of successful Nigerian entrepreneurs and provides expert analysis of their success factors. Enterprise Stories, business stories of success.
Welcome to this week's episode of Enterprise Stories. In our teaching segment, our in-house faculty will be exposing us to leveraging supplier credit. And in our Story of the Day segment, who says a woman cannot do a man's job? We will be hearing a story of a woman in a business segment dominated by men. But before we start, let's take a quick message from our sponsors.
Let's talk about moving forward. You need a brand new car or a home loan so you can live in your own house, or perhaps a credit card to shop around the world. You've also been thinking about getting finance for your trade. Well, at Stanbic IBTC Bank, we've got all the products and services you need so you can move from where you are to where you want to be. Stanbic IBTC Bank, a member of Standard Bank Group, moving forward.
Good day, listeners. My name is Victor. Welcome to today's 3 minutes teaching segment. Today, I'll be talking about leveraging supplier credit. Most businesses, most small businesses, most entrepreneurs complain about the fact that raising capital to grow business is a huge challenge. Some people say, the challenge I have of starting my business is my ability to raise capital to fund the business or to kick the business. However, today is to offer us a different perspective about how to raise funds and raise operational capital to run the business, and this is called supplier credit. By saying supplier credit, what exactly do I mean? In layman's language on the street, what it means is getting somebody else to finance your business. What it means is what I need to do, the input I need. Can I get it from the vendor who supplies me at some level of time in terms of lapses, like a few days credit, and see if that arrangement can work such that I can fund my business. In practical terms, let's assume you are on the supermarket. Instead of having to go to the bank for a 2 million naira loan at interest and all that, have you approached your vendors? Have you approached quite a number of them to say, look, do you know what we can do? Can we structure an arrangement? Is there a way you can give me X, Y, Z, and I promise to pay you back at so time? I mean, are you in the service industry? Are you in manufacturing? What are the critical inputs that come into your business whereby you spend a lot of money on, or that you need almost every time to borrow money from the banks to pay to? Most times when we walk up to these people and we're able to sell ourselves and sell our businesses to them, it becomes a bit easier to be able to raise funds from them. Because ultimately, when we take these funds from financial institutions or from wherever we get them, it is these same funds we're using to acquire these same inputs that go into our businesses. Supplier credit has been something that's been there from in times past. It is not a new concept. However, most entrepreneurs have not been able to understand the power of leveraging this. Secondly is the fact that it dwells heavily on the integrity of the person. Like I've always said on this program, people buy first into you before they buy into what you need to do or what you're selling. But when we're able to hold ourselves in very good integrity and you're able to sell yourself, it becomes easier to be able to leverage the power of supplier credit, because actually it is giving money for you for nothing. If you take, for example, you go to one of your suppliers and you are able to take goods or an input for your critical process, what about 4-5 million naira? If you look at that for 30 days compared to having to approach the loans, the documentation, the emotional trauma, and even the charges, we will see that this becomes a more informal way of getting the critical inputs you need. And in terms of competitiveness, a lot of organizations, even global organizations, have come to understand the power of supplier credit, and they're able to put in contracts and leverage their own size to be able to ensure that they keep themselves competitive in terms of what their final cost will be based on what they're able to produce. Because if they do not have to pay for all the interest and all those charges, definitely their operational cost will be more competitive and lower than others. And if they are selling even at the same price with their competitors in the place or in the marketplace, they already are making more profit and are more profitable than people who have not been able to leverage this. And when you go to the market and you check it out, you see that it's something that's been used in time past. Both retailers and wholesalers have learned how to talk to bigger organizations to say, is there a way you can fund us? Is there a way you can give us this critical input for us to be able to use, and then we're able to pay you back at a later time? Supplier credit, like I said in the beginning, is like having input critical capital at no cost to grow our business. Thank you very much.
Let's talk about moving forward. You need a brand new car or a home loan so you can live in your own house, or perhaps a credit card to shop around the world. You've also been thinking about getting finance for your trade. Well, at Stanbic IBTC Bank, we've got all the products and services you need so you can move from where you are to where you want to be. Stanbic IBTC Bank, a member of Standard Bank Group, moving forward.
I have with me today the CEO and MD of PowerGen Engineering Limited, Busola Oyebadejo. Welcome to Enterprise Stories.
Thank you very much.
Why are you in a man's business?
Well, I believe that I just found myself here. I started actually in the banking industry and moved out and then got a job with one of the pioneer power solutions company then, generator companies at the time. And that was where I was as a sales and marketing person. But the truth of the matter is I grew within the company and I worked for close to 15 years, 12 years in the company. And that was where I got all the knowledge, the skills and all that for this kind of business.
What exactly does PowerGen Engineering Limited do? What do you do?
Okay, PowerGen Engineering Limited is actually a power solutions company. We're into alternative power solutions. We supply and install generators, transformers. We do rural electrification. We supply and install inverters and solar systems. Whatever it is that we need to do for a client to actually give backup to what you have in the PHCN.
Were you not scared? Venturing into a business that is largely dominated by men. Were you not scared? What made you think, I can do this? At what point precisely did you realize that I could make a business out of this?
Okay, well, why I would say I wasn't scared was because I had actually worked in that industry a long time, for a number of years, and I'd learned it was something I was doing for people. So I didn't see it as a problem. And I never had it at the back of my mind that I was going to go into this kind of business. I never saw myself setting up a solutions company, but I did what I was doing and I did it well. I was just doing my job and all that until I had to leave the organization because the owners of the business had to move out of the country and all that, and then I was left with no job, having to look for another job. And I moved into another steel engineering firm that was into M&E, mechanical and electrical solutions, construction, and then oil and gas, and I was the business development coordinator at the time. But I just kept having calls and demand requests from people I'd worked with over the years. If they need to take a decision on their power things, they call me. They get to us and they still call me that, so I need you to be on this, I need you to be on this. I told myself, you can actually do this as a business. And then I had so many companies call me, they were actually calling me that they want me to come and work for them. But at that point, I made up my mind that I don't think I want to work for anybody anymore. I'd rather do things myself. And then one of my senior directors with the company that I'd worked with before called me that he wanted me to come and work for him to head the sales department or something. And I said, sir, I don't think I'll be able to work for you. But what I can do is I can partner with you. At that time, I'd actually thought of opening, registering a business name, which PowerGen, that was how PowerGen came about. But I didn't think I just felt, okay, I could use this for anybody that wants me to consult or, do any one of two things for them. So when he said I should come work for him, I said, okay, let's have this arrangement. What I'll do for you is I'll actually be a corporate marketer for you. If I'm marketing anything, I'm going to market in the name of PowerGen. You're going to give me an office space and all that, and I'm going to run my business from your office. Every transaction I bring will now have like a profit share on it, and it was fine by him because I believe then he believed in, the capacity, my capacities and all that. And that was the arrangement we had for 1 or 2 years, and it went on well, it grew, and then, the business grew, and it was like, we may need to, now it looks like you may need to stand on your own. And that was when I actually got scared, because the only reason why I had to work under him was I can't go out there alone. You need to, you go out and you're telling them, my MD is there, I need to go and, I was still used to referring to a senior person or an MD. I know, but I had friends, that believed in what I could do, and they said, you can actually do this on your own. So I had to look for space, have an office. If anybody wants my services, let them call us and all that. We started, small and all that. It was more like, okay, if you need me to provide any power solutions, services, consultancy for you, I'll do that, recommend and all. But to the glory of God, things just picked up, there were quite a number of people that actually believed in what you could do. And that was where we started from.
That was a very clever strategy. that has helped you and led you to starting on your own. But being on your own, like every other business, comes with its challenges. What are some of these challenges you encountered?
Well, the business, I can say, is really very challenging because it's dominated by men. So you have people wonder, who is this person? You get there, you get a job, and they wonder how. She's not even an engineer. So how is she doing it? How was she able to pull this through? And all of that. But the truth of the matter is that there's some ingredients that you put in things. You have passion, you have hunger, drive. The satisfaction you get from solving a client's problem is what drives you to keep going. And those are some of the things we try to imbibe in our business, customer service, ensuring that you satisfy your customers. Now, most of the challenges you get is the men actually looking down at you and trying to challenge you. I tell them you're supposed to actually support me as a lady, but you find a lot of them antagonizing and oh yes, But the truth of the matter is, it actually helps you to know that this is a field that you don't need to be bothered whether they are men or women. You go out there and do your thing. So once I'm on the field, gender is not an issue. Do the work and do the job. So I'm always with my engineers. With engineers, we work together and all that, and it's been good, but quite challenging.
Has funding ever been a critical problem for you?
Well, sometimes yes, but the truth of the matter is that we were pretty favored, I would say, because the people that we had some companies that believed in us at the beginning of the business, who supported us, and then we have manufacturers. One thing I did at the beginning was I did a lot of research, things I've learned, people that we've worked with in the business previously that are abroad and all that. I could always reach out to them and ask them for support. So they were actually willing, and I believe that maybe because you're a lady, some of them feel she's not going to run away with her money and all that, so they could actually support us with goods, whatever support we needed. We had some good backing, and that has actually assisted. So going to the banks, for the first few years, we didn't really need to, get any support from the banks and all that. We had support more from our suppliers and, partners.
Okay, you've grown the business over 15 years now, if I'm correct.
Well, the business is just about 4 years old.
Okay, so you've been in the field.
Yes.
For 15 years.
Oh,
and
yes.
You've ran PowerGen for 4 years.
Yes.
In 4 years, you've been able to grow your business to have about how many staff right now?
Well, right now we have about 22. And when you say 22, we have different calibers of staff. We have the full staff, we have the support staff, and we have the contract staff. Because of the nature of our job, and in order not to have overheads, I would say PowerGen is a consortium of professionals. We have team of professionals that we work together, put together, and they don't necessarily have to be on the payroll. So you have people that are freelance engineers, you have people that are freelance sales personnel. So they come in and they are strictly on commission base. So that drives them. And one of the things I learned in doing business is that you work with people that are, and we call them entrepreneurial employees rather than just employee staff, entrepreneurial staff rather than employee staff. An entrepreneurial staff is somebody that sees your business as his own business. And so they know that for every naira you make, they have, something. So it's like a partnership. So we are making the money together. It's not about a boss making money and then they are not making money. So in that way, everybody works together to make sure that we succeed. And when we succeed together, and we're always happy at the end of the day.
PowerGen solutions, power solutions, what's the way forward?
Well, the way forward, a lot has been going on in the power industry lately, and I see a lot of people ask me questions. So what's going to happen what they're planning to do, what if it goes through and all this power failure becomes something of the past and all? And I tell them that we are still very, very much positioned because we're into installations of transformers, selling of transformers and all that, and there are different aspects to power. There's the generation part, which there are companies that will actually generate. But the area where you have problems is actually distribution. And that is an area where we already, are positioned and all that. So you still have to replace transformers, because one of the problems Nigeria is having right now is that you have most of these equipments that are, outdated and all that. So you need to upgrade them and all that. So we sell these things, we can install them, and all that. And, there's rural electrification. There's development every day. So you still have that market. Even the generators, people ask very soon now, generators will be phased out. And I say, well, it doesn't matter. The business might actually drop, but that doesn't mean it will be phased out completely, because part of the standard that you even have abroad is that you still have to back up places like hotels, hospitals, and major companies with generators. The only thing is they're supposed to be backup. So they will now become backup as it's supposed to be, rather than generators that are now functioning as the main source of supply and all that. So with what is going on in the country, in the industry right now, we are very much positioned, and we do a lot of work with the real estate developers and all that. You have estates that talk to us that, please, we need to have a complete power solution for our estate, and we need you to just handle it and things like that. So those are areas that we can actually take advantage of and work. So I still see us being very relevant in the industry.
Okay, you positioned your business very well for this kind of thing. We know that eventually, of course, power is going to be regular in Nigeria, and I'm very happy that you positioned yourself very well. Can you share with us and with the listeners, has capacity building in any way played a significant role in helping you to develop yourself and understand exactly where you want to push this business to?
Yes, in any business, capacity building is very, very important. No matter what, you learn every day, and you need to keep learning. And as you bring in people, the business is about the people, really. So if you have people that are, are not competent, you have problems with the business. So what you need to do is to keep training. And one of the things we do in PowerGen, in fact, we've had people work with us and all that, and they keep saying that PowerGen is a learning ground. You're coming from day one. We don't belong to the group of people that employ people based on their certificates and all that, but you come in and you must run an internship program. You need to know what you can do, because our job is actually on the field and it's hands-on. So if you come in and you say you're an engineer with no experience, nothing to show for it, you might have a technician that actually might be doing better or earning better than you, because we need to actually test you on the field and all that. So we do a lot of training, and then EDC has actually supported us, and LBS. So we do a lot of trainings. We send our staff for trainings and all that in all these training institutions, just to make sure that we develop. And with the change that is going on regularly, we just have to keep up. And I believe that has helped us as well, because by the time you train people, they come back and they start applying what they have learned. Even me, as the MD of the company, there were times I thought I could not even leave the office. I was just too busy. But I knew I was having staff issues, and that was when I came to the EDC for the SEM program, and it just changed the business completely and totally. You met new people, you learned new things, and I started telling everybody in the office that you need to go for these trainings. And that was when we even increased the amount of training that we started giving to our staff.
Okay, in concluding, for other women out there that might be dissuaded from venturing into this kind of business, what message would you be sharing with them today?
Well, what I would tell people is that whatever you want to do in life, with God, all things are possible. Because if it had not been for God, I don't think we would have been here. But one thing I would advise anyone is, whatever you have set your mind to do, just keep at it. You might have challenges at the initial stage, but when you fail, you get up again, dust yourself, and move ahead. There is no business that is not challenging. It's just the amount of grace you have upon your life that can actually assist you to achieve. So if anybody is trying to venture into this kind of business, I'll encourage them that they should keep at it. It's not so bad. If I can do it, I believe anybody can do it. And I would love to see more women venture into this kind of business, so that we'll see more of flesh than bone out there in the marketplace.
You've heard it from Busola Oyebadejo, CEO of PowerGen Engineering Limited. Persistence and determination are key to having a successful business. We'll be right back after this short break.
Let's talk about moving forward. You need a brand new car or a home loan so you can live in your own house, or perhaps a credit card to shop around the world. You've also been thinking about getting finance for your trade. Well, at Stanbic IBTC Bank, we've got all the products and services you need so you can move from where you are to where you want to be. Stanbic IBTC Bank, a member of Standard Bank Group, moving forward.
Yes, we're now in the analysis segment. Victor, you've heard The story of the lady in a business dominated by men. What's your take?
Awesome. And I can tell you that this is quite inspiring. And for many of our listeners, I'm sure quite a number of people are thinking through, if it were me, would have been able to survive in that kind of terrain. But looking at it from the sales and marketing angle, there's one very phenomenal thing that she was able to do and achieve, and that explains every other thing. She developed the most important skill to survive in the world of business, selling. She developed and honed her sales skills, and we say it over and over again, no matter what you do in life, the most important skill you must have is the ability to sell. Every day we're in the process of either selling ourselves to people or selling our organizations or selling products and services. So yes, she might have been a female. Yes, she might not have been an engineer, but the fact that she developed the ability to sell, she would excel in that field and any field whatsoever. Even if she was running an NGO or you're running for profit organization, irrespective, the first thing you must be, even as the president of a nation, you must have the ability to first sell yourself and then sell investments. So we all are in the business of selling. That she was able to discover quickly, that she was able to own her skills on, and I can tell you that is one of the things that's really helping her and distinguishing her in the field she's chosen. Selling is what brings your cash flow. Cash flow is the blood of any business. No business thrives, no business survives if we're not exchanging value for we're not paying for value. So she's offering value, she has learned to present her value properly, and yet the market is paying her and rewarding her for it. So yes, she developed that skill and it's a fantastic. The second aspect of which I would like to also share with our listeners is the fact that she discovered the business behind the business. What do I mean by that? Yes, they were in the business of selling generators when she was an employee, but she did not just do her function as a salesperson, train others. She learned to understand how it works, how the process is behind it. What are the things that make the numbers? What are the services that distinguishes company A that is into power generation from company B? What are the major parameters that drives their market? She was able to understand that. And the truth is, yes, she might have had her fears, which is common to all entrepreneurs. That is what allowed her to be able to transit from somebody who was in a paid employment to an entrepreneur. She understood the behind the scenes. What are the things that matter? How do I put it together to be able to deliver what my client expects? Which, of course, issues will come about sustainability of what she was doing, the quality of what she was delivering, the technical knowledge and all that. Even though she could not be all that, she had the ability to say that these were the things that matter. These are the things I needed to put together to ensure that I give my client the desired experience when they patronize me, and that's what has really helped our business to grow. And of course, it's to tell her that we expect that she continues to deliver on this brand promise. This takes me to brand promise. The market cannot differentiate gender, cannot differentiate age, cannot even differentiate race in the global competitive economy. What it's trying to say is, if you are promised to give me a solution, make sure you deliver on what you have promised. And this is very crucial, and it's the crux of any business any entrepreneur desires to go into. You must ensure that if you are committing to customer A on any of your promises in terms of what your deliverable output should be, you keep to it. This helps to drive business. This helps to ensure that you're still in business and there's cash flow, and that the business can continue to grow. And on the final note, she did something also which is very strategic, and I encourage all listeners and entrepreneurs out there to develop and learn. Ability to look into the future and forecast. She was able to anticipate what the direction of our market, where our business is playing, is going to. She has been able to put in checks and balances and strategies to ensure that she still stays relevant. Bearing in mind that the first job of entrepreneurs is to create jobs that offer people security and jobs that ensure that people are able to meet their aspirations as an organization grows. If an entrepreneur is CEO, is not able to look into the future to see what are the opportunities, the threats, a general SWOT of what the market looks like, then that kind of a business will not last very long. But if we look at what she has been able to do, she has seen what her strengths are, she has seen what the threats will be, she has seen her weaknesses, and she has seen the opportunity in the marketplace, and she has been able to position our business both now and in the future, both to see those things, take in the opportunities, and leverage our business for growth. And this is a fantastic one, and all entrepreneurs out there have the opportunity to look at the model of Power Gen, irrespective of the gender, irrespective of the fact that she's not a technical person or an engineer. She's doing well because she has applied the basic principles that help people succeed in business. Very good one she's done.
Thank you, Victor, for the insightful analysis and the usual pointers. Listeners, you've heard it. Being a woman didn't stop her from following through with her dreams of owning and running her own business. And on this note, we've come to the end of this episode. Until next week, when we bring you another exciting episode, stay blessed. Join the Enterprise Development Center of the Pan-African University as we celebrate 10 years of supporting small and growing businesses in Nigeria. Log on to www.edc.edu.ng for more information. For questions and comments, please email edc@pau.edu.ng or log on to Enterprise Stories on nigeria.sme2k.org for useful resources and articles to help grow your business.